Hello, hello. Well. I am back, and the subject today, my good people, is going to be: does negative content affect us? And if so, how does it affect us? That is the question. That's what we are going to examine. And in researching a few things, I found out some interesting facts about watching negative content. Now, this could be in any form. It could come from the news, it could come from different channels on YouTube or any social media platform. There is a lot of ways that we consume negative content. So, in looking at the whole thing, I was going to do a video on watching positive content versus watching negative content, but I decided to shift focus and just talk about the effects of negative content today. And maybe I'll go back and revisit and think about and discuss how positive content affects us in another video. So, we do know that there's different kind of content. Even on YouTube, we have to be mindful of what we're watching and how much mess or drama, horror, negativity, or anything that we're taking in. As people, I think we decide what we think is good for us, and sometimes we do not think about any effects, and unless it's something that we think it would be detrimental to our health. Otherwise, maybe some things we don't even really think about or take a deep dive and try to find out and research the knowledge that'll give us a different perspective of what we are really watching and what we are taking in and how it affects us mentally. And we all know that mental situations can definitely lead to physical situations and affect us negatively in that way also. So, I'm not going to be here for long, but I just want to break down a few different aspects of the ways that negative content can be harmful to us. So I am going to share my screen and read this to you all, and you can follow along. Yeah, I'm just figuring out the ins and outs of doing my videos, and so this has been a journey, but that's for another show. But right now, let me share my screen and show you this. And it just simply goes on to say negative content like news stories about tragic events, social media negativity, or consistently viewing the stressing material can significantly impact mental health by causing increased stress, anxiety, depression, and even feelings of hopelessness, primarily due to the brain's natural tendency to prioritize threats and react strongly to negative stimuli. This can lead to a prolonged stress response when exposed to too much negativity. And I thought that was very interesting because, like I said, we don't think about what we're watching, what we're listening to, what we're taking in can affect us in a negative way. So, with us knowing that, I'd like to go into a few things that can trigger us after we are exposed to too much negativity. So, key ways negative content affects mental health: triggering the stress response. Exposure to negative content can activate the fight or flight response, releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, leading to physical symptoms like rapid heart rate and increased anxiety. 2. Distorted perception of reality. Constant exposure to negative news can create a skewed view of the world, making individuals believe that negative events are more common than they actually are, leading to increased fear and pessimism. 3. Social comparison and low self-esteem. And I think this one is really one we should really pay attention to. Comparing oneself to seemingly perfect lives portrayed on social media can lead to feelings of inadequacy and lower self-worth. And hold that thought because we're going to go back there. Number 4, sleep disruption. Worrying about negative content consumed before bedtime can disrupt sleep patterns. Have you ever been watching something crazy, scary, something that angered you, and then you went to sleep and you were dreaming about it, or perhaps you couldn't even sleep? It goes on to say at number 5, reduce coping ability. Continuously being exposed to negative information can make it harder to manage stress in everyday life. I want you to really dwell on that. Continuously being exposed to negative information can make it harder to manage stress in everyday life. That is very interesting. And number 6, increase risk of depression and anxiety. Studies have shown a direct link between high consumption of negative content and heightened symptoms of depression and anxiety. So, with all those things that we just read, they gave 6 pointers on how taking in too much negative content can affect us mentally, can affect our sleep patterns, can affect our anxiety, to give us a distorted perception of reality, and trigger stress responses. And if we look at it, before I go back to the point I wanted to make about social comparison and low self esteem, I'm going to go here for a second. This said distorted perception of reality. And when I think about that, have you ever seen some people that are so engulfed in social media or content creation or anything that has to do with consuming anything on a social media level, that it seemed like they were engulfed in it? That's all they thought about, that's all they did. They were every day, all day long. It was all about either being online on social media or being the clicks and views themselves. And have you ever seen where some of those people get so wrapped up into it that maybe they start to get so consumed that they think that real life situations that are offline and off of social media don't matter as much as being on social media anymore, if that makes sense. Like people that wouldn't know what to do if they couldn't get online. And we see that more and more. Like I have saw a few people like that. People that rarely or never take a social media break. People that maybe have created a different image or persona on social media, and it may not really be the way they are in real life, but they are so engulfed in the clicks and views, um, what people think about them online. They can't miss a beat. They have to be in the mix, that the people that know them in real life are kind of like, what's really going on? They're just not the person that they were before they became so consumed in the social media. So it's very possible that people get so wrapped up in content and content creation and just being on social media that they do have a distorted perception of reality. And that is definitely a negative effect. We have to have an equal balance here, or, we just have to know when to take a break or know when we're not being true to ourselves. Now, I said I was going to go back to social comparison and low self esteem. And that's definitely a negative aspect of being consumed with negative content on social media, and because we all know that a lot of people on social media are pretending to be things or people they really aren't in real life. And some people put on this perfect picture and this perfect painting, where it has other people thinking, oh my God, this person is so perfect. I have to be just like this person. You ever see how, like, even Instagram models, or maybe even OnlyFans, or whatever it is, the women and maybe some of the work they have gotten done to perfect their image and to look a certain way has caused other women who used, I guess, used to or wouldn't normally care about that so much to go out and want to get work done and come into this different reality so that they could keep up or so that they can blend in, thinking that they are not good enough as they are because to them this person seems so perfect over here. Or even there's a guy that says he has all this money, seems like he has the perfect life and everything, and then you see other men that are like, oh, I gotta be just like this guy, and feeling down on themselves because they're not just like this guy. In all actuality, people, we don't know what these people got going on. We know a lot of people put on for social media, and everything isn't always what it is cracked up to be, honestly. But this could cause some people to start feeling low about themselves and damage their self esteem if they're not careful. If you start to feel like watching somebody else is going to get you down or cause you not to feel the best about yourself, then maybe it's time to take a break. I mean, we've all had in life people that we admire or look up to or like some things about. But when it gets to the point that it consumes you to where you're feeling negative about yourself, you're not living in reality, you're not sleeping, you're not doing the things you used to do when you're not online, when you're not streaming, when you're not watching those TV shows or those YouTube shows or whatever it is. You're starting to feel depressed because you don't blend in, because you're not like this person, you're not like that. And that's when it's time to take a break. It might be time to really evaluate some things in your life, evaluate some things in your mental, and ask yourself, what can you do to be happy with yourself instead of wanting to be someone else? And I think that's very important. We have to have self love and self care. So, how to mitigate the impact of negative content. Number one, take a break, limit exposure. Be mindful of how much time you spend consuming negative news, or social media content. Number 2, seek positive content. Actively looking for positive stories and news to balance out the negativity. And like I said, negative content comes in all kinds of forms. You might have a certain content creator that you watch, a certain TV show that you watch on a regular, but what if the negativity comes when there's always messy people? There's always the tacky shenanigans. If it's negative, if it's not positive, if it's drama filled, if it's messy, if it's mess and drama for clicks and views or ratings, you may want to take a step back. Monitor your feeds. Use social media settings to filter out content that triggers negative emotions. The same way that we get all this stuff coming through the algorithm of stuff that we just watched, stuff similar, and things like that. That can be the case in your situation too. If you change what you're watching, try to find more positive outlooks of content to look at instead of the messy, negative, evil, toxic, hateful, drama-filled content. Even if it's the news. If you're sitting there and you're watching news day after day, every day, and all you're watching is about all the drama and the destruction and tragedy and loss and negativity in the world, you may need to take a step back from watching the news. If it's getting you to the point where you're feeling depressed and you're feeling down in the dumps and you're feeling low because of all the evil and all the destruction that's going on in the world that you see every day when you watch the news, you need to take a step back from that. Simply take breaks. Regularly step away from the screens and engage in activities that promote relaxation. There's nothing wrong with taking a step back. And I don't even care if you are involved more than you should be in social media. Maybe you could be on a TV show, you could be on a podcast, you could be on a platform. But if you're feeling overwhelmed and you need to take a break, take a break. Tell them you'll get back with them when you get your mind right. Sometimes you just have to take a break, no matter what you're doing, no matter what social media outlet you're on, what platform, what channel, whatever. Sometimes you just need to take a break, step back, relax, focus on the positive things in life, and be thankful and grateful for whatever is good in your life. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness techniques can help manage stress and anxiety triggered by negative content. So it was just a message that I wanted to convey, that there is harm in taking in too much negative content. Join me on my next video where I dive into some more things that need to be discussed. And of course, keep the faith no matter what you're going through. Take the steps to turn to a healthier lifestyle. Keep praying. Don't give up. You're going to look back and say, won't he do it? God got you. Do what you need to do. To stay in touch with your emotions, keep your mental health good, and succeed. Because you can win. There's no need to throw in the towel yet. Stay away from the drama. Stay away from the tacky shenanigans. Keep your head up, stay in faith, and stay in prayer. If you haven't already, like this video, leave me a comment for the algorithm. Subscribe. Be blessed.